this is special, and you can see the state that it's in right now, but this is going to be a special space.
It's a very special space.
Yeah.
All right, so one of our major changes for the configuration of the ship in this dry dock period was something we could never do in Baton Rouge because it requires a shipyard to do it. It's such major, heavy cutting, lifting, and that was getting rid of our dumbwaiter and pulling all the 1953 Cold War fire control radar out of what became a fire control space after '53 and all throughout the Cold War. But before that, during World War II, it was the segregated crew quarters for our stewards mates, for the African Americans that worked on board. And so in 2023, after the HINSA conference, I took a drive over to Boston, to Cass & Young, looked at their section where this is located, went to Sullivan's. You toured me around, let me look around there, took measurements, took pictures. We got our blueprints together, and we have made that conversion. So you can see down here, this hatch used to be going through the deck right here. There was no watertight combing here. It was just a straight cut, straight up. This was missing. The door was not here. And this whole thing was pulled forward. And the back bulkhead stopped right here. And from here back was a dumbwaiter to move food up and down. It opened up on the other side, and on the other side you had a second breakwater right here, so that the water would not come down and knock the stewards off their feet. And the entryway for the dumbwaiter shaft was right here, protected. So they have removed the second breakwater. There was a fairing that went back here. That's gone. So it's just railings like it used to be. They've renewed the breakwater back here, shifted all this around, and let's go down and see what it looks like.
I'm very excited. You follow that, unless you want to go. Oh, wow. This is special, and you can see the state that it's in right now, but this is going to be a special space.
It's a very special space.
Yeah.
So right where this white line is, this is where the divider wall is, on Sullivan's and Cass & Young, and used to be on Kidd. The dumbwaiter shaft was literally right here.
Necessitating again the move.
Necessitating for that to go back. And because that went back, the ladder going down to the O2 level, to the mess deck, was right here. So they removed that ladder, they sealed this up, they removed the dumbwaiter shaft and sealed that up, and then took and realigned all this and moved this over, and it's now a stacked ladder well. And all the equipment is out of here now. And what will go in here is 3 sets, 12 bunks total, 3 sets of 4, which is unlike anywhere else on the ship. It's sets of 3. And 3 sets of lockers. And this will be where the African-American crew would have lived.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Other than the African-American people that would have been here, black people, what about Asian, Hispanic?
Chinese used to be recruited pre-World War II for stewards mates, and after World War II you see a lot of Filipinos come in. One of my best friends, his dad gained citizenship by signing up, joining the Navy, and serving as a stewards mate, retired in the 1980s, I want to say, as a chief stewards mate cooking for the admirals at Pearl Harbor.
Okay.
Chief Benjamin Fernandez.
Would they have had to stay here as well, or would they be with the other crew?
Post 1953, everybody slept everywhere else. This was a fire control radar room.
So the military desegregated
in 48.
Okay.
So Right. This was probably African American. Certainly post-war, you're seeing a lot of the Filipinos, but
Right.
also during World War II. And so for our space, yeah, I mean, as you saw, right, you come down the ladder, there's a bulkhead here, you look through a door, it's fire control radar stuff, and even right where Ken is standing, because again, our hatches were in the proper positioning and alignment,
Right.
this became our post office.
Because
right?
you still have enough room for a walkway.
Yeah, and then you
Yeah.
just curve and then go down, and that stuck out to, or sticks out to about here.
Does the KIDD have a designated post office space?
Yes, but it's on the main deck.
Okay.
And on Cass and Young, where your post office is, they have their barber chair. They set up their
Yes.
barber shop. There's a counter and mirrors mounted, and the chair, and little cabinets for the barber tools and everything, and enough room to walk clearly into that ladder well. So whatever extra space there was is taken up by something. They use it.
Yeah,
So.
whether it's a post office for the Sullivans, the barber shop. So we're again interpreting post 48.
Right.
Certainly, I think Cass and Young is 58, 59.
58, 59.
We're going to 62.
Right.
So we're already integrated.
Right.
And that's how we're going to keep the interpretation. For you, this is absolutely the right thing. I've been really supportive of you guys being that October, is that August of 45?
August of 45.
Prior to integration.
Right.
That's why it's so important, because we're leaving it to you, Cass and Young and Sullivan's are leaving it to you to be able to tell that story.
Right. And Omar, for relating to your question, because stewards mates were supposed to be African American in World War II, Chinese, I'm able to go back and look through our crew roster for that rating and pull every single stewards mate that served on board the KIDD during that time. And overwhelmingly, we've got 22, 23, all of them were African American, no Chinese names popping out or anything like that.
No Mexican,
No.
Yeah, Mexican. Okay.
So,
Cool.
yeah, so we know the guys, and if we can get their records from National Archives, or not,
Be really
well,
amazing.
National Archives, the
That's
Personnel
awesome,
Center,
for sure.
then we'll be able to maybe get their photos,
Yes.
maybe get in contact with their families.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
And you're working closely with the Baton Rouge African American Museum as
Yes,
well, right?
yes, they have an exhibit that they're supposed to have telling about segregation at home in Baton Rouge, and then they've got a new building, so just 2 blocks away from KIDD now, you can see that, and they'll refer you, go see what it's like on the KIDD in the military, and we'll have something referring to them. Go see what it was like on the home front. So, let's see at the bottom, because there's more reconstruction down here. Cafeteria line
Ice cream machine, most important part.
and ice cream machine, most important part.
Yeah.
So our ladder in the Cold War configuration came down right here and dropped you right in front of this. So very tight fit. Instead, now with y'all's plans, with the blueprints and photographs of what you and what Sullivan's and Cass and Young had, the shipyard was able to shift that over and then create this ladder well, this curve, recreate the riveting, and then the dumbwaiter shaft literally sat right here where it originally ended and where it's back to now. And then our door closed to right there to the shaft. So all of it is returned now. You've still got your storage back here, and it loops around to where Omar's at.
What? Oh, yeah.
It's a Harry Potter closet.
It's a Harry Potter closet now.
Bobby is a friend.
There we go.
Because we have a large refrigeration unit here.
Yeah.
And that is our ship's store.
And you've got something here blocking this old door, and you've got a door over there now.
Right, and the
Yeah.
door is right there, the ship's store is there. I cannot believe that it curves underneath the ladder.
Yeah. So
Well done to Thomas E.
Thomas
And
E.
you guys
did a
for
fabulous job with
doing
this.
enough
And
investigation.
just taking the photographs that I took on Cass and Young and on Sullivan's, they were able to visualize now what they're seeing on the blueprints to see how this looked and everything. because when I showed them the photographs, they started going through them and they got giddy. They're like, okay, this makes much more sense. This is very, very helpful. So thank you to Sullivan's, thank you to you, thank you to Buzz and Tim and Cass and Young for taking me around and letting me document all of that.
So this is all brand new.
It's all brand new.
And it looks old.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Looks beautiful.
It looks like new old stuff. And then you come in, this is very similar
food
to
service.
the way we look.
Yeah.
You know, in the Sullivan's here, the steam line, the chow line. And
Now the one thing that's not original back there is the modern day sewage line that cuts through and angles through, but you know,
you gotta do it.
you gotta do it.
You gotta
So
do
When you gotta go, you gotta
when you gotta go, you gotta go.
We gotta go right now.
You want to see the last little bit for the reconfig?
Yeah.
Follow me through the scullery. Follow me through the scullery.
Oh yeah, this is
And the scullery has watertight combings on both sides, so step up and over on each side. What's that? Safety manager.
Aha. Yeah.
So for Cass and Young, they didn't have the sonar amplifiers that were sitting in this outline right here. Instead, they have a bulkhead attached to this coming out and cutting over diagonally at an angle. Cass and Young, yeah, and that's her ship store. Cigarettes,
Oh, that's right.
cigarettes, combs, whatever, soap, everything that snacks. They've got all that in here. And I was able, the thing I wanted to look at this space for on you guys and on them, but you had the amplifiers just like we did. But for Cass and Young, I was able to go inside and they let me move their display stuff off the racks, and I was able to find the bunk hooks for the 2 bunks that would have been here. But they have tile just like you do.
What do you mean you were able to find the bunk hooks?
The bunk hooks were still here. That's the frame.
Okay.
They're not here anymore on KIDD, and I didn't find any on Sullivan's.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. You found them on another ship, Cass and Young.
On the Cass and Young, right?
All right. Sorry for interrupting. I should
No,
just listen and not interrupt.
That's okay. That's okay.
You're here to participate.
So yeah, I found the bunk hooks.
Table.
Right, and there was a table here, a 14-man table.
Yeah.
And all the other tables in the mess deck ahead of us are 10-man tables. So this is entirely circumstantial. I have no documented proof of it or anything, but on Alabama, the African American crew would stand in line in that food service line and get their food just side by side with the white crew, right? But then when they went into the mess deck, there's a table just for them. It's segregated out. They're sitting at, and the whites don't sit at that table. They don't sit at the other tables.
Well, what was the
There's
point?
not that much room.
What was the point with the 14 seats?
My theory is that the 14-man table is back here. It's away from the rest of the crew, segregated off, and they wouldn't be eating all at the same time unless they're tied up in port or something, or they're all on, they're going to be on rotating shifts, sleeping at different times. But there's 12 bunks up there for the African American crew. It's a 14-man table. If they were all eating at the same time, which would be rare, they couldn't all sit at one table.
Well, that's why I was doing the math.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what would 14 have to do it? And you're saying not
There's probably not a
specifically,
12-man.
But you're saying this
Circumstantially, this could have been where they had to eat.
Yeah, where everything else was white only.
Right.
This was, okay.
And that's circumstantial, got no documentation, but we're putting it back this way anyway, just because this is the way it was in World War II, and we can do it. You gotta, it does raise the question, where did they eat?
There would be no history if there's no evidence. If
It's
this
like,
ship
it's the
wasn't
scientific
here,
process. You put out a theory, you have a problem, you put out a theory.
I see what you're trying to say, but yeah.
If there's no museum ship, we wouldn't know what. Yeah, but that's an extreme case.
I got you.
If there was not the written word, we would not know about the Egyptian civilization, the Greeks, right?
So this
there's
is,
no evidence for it.
this is the last piece of major restoration that we've got. Everything else is small stuff
So
from
you're
now
putting
on.
the table back.
We're going to put the table back. Before we do that, we're going to have to chisel this concrete out. Either that, or if we get
That's what this is.
that's concrete.
Okay, all right.
And on their ships, on Cass and Young and Kidd, it's tile. And so they laid the tile because the hull is curved, at least up top. Down here, not so much. But they laid the cement leveler down so that they could lay tile on that. And right now, Joseph P. Kennedy in Fall River, Massachusetts at Battleship Cove is pulling up that tile and finding rotted deck, just like we did up top. And just like, did y'all find rotted deck?
In the wardroom.
In the wardroom, yeah. So that cement is exuding moisture throughout its entire lifespan, and it's rotting the deck.
The cement was poured once it was a museum ship.
No, this cement was poured while in service in the Cold War.
Oh, okay. All right.
In the Cold War. Because again, Fletchers after the war are becoming obsolete. You got missile technology coming out, and the newer destroyers have the twin 5-inch guns, much more versatile than the singles, and they got longer legs. So the Fletchers are becoming obsolete the longer you're going, and keep them going for a few more years. Keep them going for just patchwork. And then, okay, we're going to give them to our allies. Those guys have communists on their doorstep. Let's throw some ships over there. So,
Cool.
yeah. That's it.
Well,
Kumbaya.
my lord.
Good to go? Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Remember, we're still looking for some cash to push a little bit further back, not to kick the can down the road to the next generation. We want her leaving this shipyard as perfectly done as possible, so she'll last another 40 or 60 years. Yeah. That's it for now. We'll be back with some more videos in a little while, but we're going to go to lunch.
Good work.
Thanks for watching, guys.